one, and we are live. There we are on the Quadcast episode 6 with my man Johnny. Woo! Well, yeah, bud. We're hoping to be doing this together back in the fruition of it all. But Johnny had a few health complications there, so it was delayed. I kind of got the ball rolling and got a few warm-up guests in there, and now we're freezing and
clearly I'm not that cold.
Yeah, you're all right. Fuck,
I'm this big.
I've been in here for a while, freezing my bag off. But
yeah, well, I was actually trying out for World Strongman. If everyone wants to know,
yeah,
pulled a hammy, blew out an oblique. So yeah, they had me laid up there for a few weeks.
Big workout injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what happens when you're lifting 300-pound Atlas stones. You know, throwing kegs over high jumps and stuff. It's part of the job.
Yeah,
so,
fair.
You know, they laid me up for a little while, and let me go, and here I am. Yeah, as Gibby said, we kind of tried to birth this idea a little while ago, and I'm glad that he took her by the reins and has gotten it to the point where it is now.
We got a mic.
We got mic. We got one mic. Soon we'll have two mics.
Yeah, we're thinking about grabbing another mic so we can have like guest mic kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Work in the studio here, so it's a work in process. We got some ambiance here, a little bit of warmth.
We got fireplace down here.
Oh yeah. Not too bad. Keep the guests from totally freezing their bag off in here. And we got extra laptop set up today. Johnny, I'm sure you've been YouTubing lately.
I'm always, man. yeah. You spend enough time in the hospital. Oh, actually, coincidentally, I mentioned this to you. YouTube in the hospital is shit. They only let you see like maybe 10% of videos. So my YouTube viewing in the hospital was
they edited it down.
Yeah, they cut out everything, like these podcasts, for instance, which is crazy. But I purely brought this for aesthetic purposes, just so we look professional.
Exactly.
I gotta look something up. Yeah. I don't know if I'll actually use it, but all the podcasts, they got shit all over the place, so I thought I'd do that.
What have you been watching recently? What kept you busy in the hospital? I saw last time I saw you were watching World Juniors. So.
World Juniors, Netflix mostly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my Netflix game. It's strong.
Really?
Oh yeah, it got a lot better.
Really?
Funny enough, so they cut out all the YouTube videos for the Wi-Fi administrator in the hospital, and they're like, "Oh no, you can't watch all this YouTube. Porn, of course, you can't watch."
Yeah.
And also gambling. So I couldn't play Poker Stars.
Really?
Couldn't look at any of the salacious arts, and I also couldn't look at YouTube. But Netflix works perfectly.
Okay.
So I had people saying, "Oh, you got to check out this series. Got to check out this series."
Yeah.
I crushed through Fargo season 1, 2, and 3, Mindhunter season 1 and 2, bunch of stand-up, Peaky Blinders season 1, 2, 3.
This is Greek to me. Don't even have Netflix.
This is for I'm sure there's some viewers out there.
Exactly. We're like, oh
yeah. And others. There's so much content now, man, with these streaming services.
Totally.
Somebody gave me their Crave password. I believe that was who was that? I feel like doing a shout out to who gave me the password. I can't remember at the moment, but I used that for a bit and crushed about like 30 episodes of Seinfeld in 2 days. That was nice. I can't think of anything off the top. Just nonstop streaming, man.
Nice.
You got nothing else to do, so.
Yeah, I went over to Buddy's place and watched that UFC fight last night, that was pretty nice.
Yeah.
Girlfriend picked up the pay-per-view. Shout out to Rach. That was sweet. So there was a crew of people by there, and we watched a bit of UFC and had some bullshit and had some snacks and everything there. That was cool.
Yeah.
Nice to just get out and socialize even, right? I'm not even really that into the UFC, but it was just nice to go and just watch some TV where everybody's hyped on something, even, right? That atmosphere.
A sporting event bringing people together, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm the same. Back home, a lot of my friends are very, UFC nights is a huge night back in Belleville.
Yeah.
Where I'm from in Ontario, it's a pretty boring town. Very similar to Campbell River. Not a lot to do at night.
Not a lot going on.
Just not a lot for nightlife stuff. So, yeah, UFC fights come around, and it's a big night at the bar. Everyone's going out. And, I'm the same. I kind of don't really care either way, but the excitement of the event kind of gets me into it. Sure, go out and have some beers and watch the fight. But.
So you're Ontario guy?
From
I
Ontario.
didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's not many people who have moved out here from there, from what I hear.
Yeah.
I'm one of the few who found their way here. But Ontario originally, Belleville.
Why?
Kingston, Ontario.
Why? When did you first hear of Quadra?
Quadra was kind of the shit winds just blew me here, if I could kind of quote Mr. Leahy there.
Nice.
Yeah, he, well, basically, I was bartending at a sports bar back in Belleville, this 2015, and our owner ended up getting an illegal issue with being investigated for fraud because our paychecks were starting to bounce more and more regular. Yet, if you went into his office to ask if you could cash said paycheck, he'd like go into a seedy drawer and like give you cash money for it. So that was working. That was working okay for like a couple months because you're still technically getting paid. But obviously, when you were going to local banks in the same plaza as your employer, and they're like, "Oh, we can't cash this check here." Things are starting to go awry, right? Things are getting a little fishy. Just like this red snapper here from Powell River. Shout out Powell River.
That is sweet. All the red snapper shirt.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it got him. He was being investigated for fraud, and the place ended up closing down quite abruptly. And I've been out west a bunch of times. It's not my first rodeo here, but I just decided to take what money I have and rather than look for more work in Belleville, just jumped ship, and I bought a one-way plane ticket on Good Friday in April 2015 from Toronto to Vic, and stayed in Vic for a few. I had a bunch of friends across Vancouver Island who I've met over my years in travels in BC and Alberta, who always said, "Oh, make sure you check out Vancouver Island one day. You'll probably really like it out there." So that's what I was going for this time. So landed in Vic and met up with some friends there, checked out the city for a few days, and then I kind of just gradually worked my way up the island, visiting friends that I'd met. And, "Oh, come see me in Parksville," and Nanaimo, kind of thing. And then actually a friend of mine from Belleville, she had been living in Campbell River for maybe a year or something like that anyway. So I rented like a little alcove, not even, it wasn't even a room, just like a little side spot where I could kind of check out, look for work while I was there.
Yeah.
And I had actually got hired to work at the bartender at Moxie's. And I got the call. Yeah, I got the call, and I was like, fuck, do I want to work at Moxie's? Because it's kind of a, those chain places.
It's Moxie's.
It's Moxie's. It's not really my jam. It's more of a chain kind of stuffy atmosphere thing. So
scooch up there.
There you go. Yeah. So I hadn't really, I didn't say yes, and I was thinking about my next move, and I'm like, you know what? I think I'm actually going to go back to Victoria. There's tons of bar work there. It's perfect. It'll be.
There's way more bar work in Vic, you would think.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, this is only 3 weeks into my whole island tour, right? So I'd been in Campbell River for like a week and a half. I'd kind of sussed out that it was like very similar to Belleville.
Pretty weak.
Not a lot going on. Like when the strip club's like one of the busiest bars in town, it's like, here we go. It felt like a Belleville West. Yeah. So I said to my friend, I'm like, you know what? I'm probably just going to go back down and look for work in Vic. And she's like, before you go, you should check out Quadra Island. You'd probably really like it over there. I said, "Oh, what's Quadra all about?" So I, went on the old Google machine, and I think I first typed in Quadra Island bars or pubs is what I typed in, and not Harriet Bain was the first one that came up. So because clearly I needed work, so that's kind of what I was looking for. Harriet Bain popped up, went to their website, and started scrolling around, looking through, and one of the pages said now accepting resumes for 2015 spring, summer, bartender service, all that stuff. So I fired off an email with bartender for hire in the subject feed, and Lois called me back the next day. We chatted for like 30, 40 minutes on the phone, and she asked if I wanted to come over and take a look. And so I did the next day. She picked me up from the ferry, took me out, toured me around the inn, kind of showed me where I'd have to stay up in Dogpatch. And at the end of the tour, she's like, "Okay, well, you can take a couple days or take some time, think about it." And I was like, "No, I'm in. I'm in. I got a job. This place looks rad." Yeah. I immediately fell in love with the character of the pub. I know that pub I mean, I didn't at the time, but I could feel the history of that place.
Oh, totally.
I mean,
just vibes.
Just vibes,
Yeah.
like, even just from the outside, but when you got in the pub and like the smell of that pub and the wood and everything about it.
It's not
just
Moxie's. Right?
Yeah, it's not Moxie's. Yeah, it was just a little bit of a departure from Moxie's. You could say that. So I was like,
This is cool. This is cool.
I think I'm gonna take this.
Yeah.
And it was great. Like that, I ended up bartending there for almost roughly 2.5 years or something like that.
So realistically,
it
it could have been less money, but better lifestyle in a choice, right? You'd think maybe working at Moxie's, it would be a more spendier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. But the lifestyle of working there, I think, would be the compromise. Shittier. Here you're getting to know these really nice people. There would be more of like the hoity-toityer business yachty types, you would think. I'm sure you get that at the end too, but
no, well, not so much. But it would have. Yeah, you're right. Like it would have been at the job at Moxie's wouldn't have been anything different from any other bar job I've worked. It would have been go in dressed in blacks, do your job, not really connect with anybody.
Do you want to be a member of the community and work at our local bar? Kind of the thing, right?
Yeah. So the HBI, the pub obviously offered a lot more.
Yeah.
In terms of that, and that's what I was into because I knew I knew it was a small island and I knew I'd have to kind of ingrain myself within the community.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, well, I'm a bartender. Everyone loves the bartender, right?
Exactly.
So that worked out pretty well for me, and I was with them for quite a while until I decided to go prawn fishing there a couple springs ago. And kind of went and did.
And you got that job through meeting someone at the Harriet Bay.
I presume. Yeah, exactly. The skipper came in all the time for lunch and dinner and said, "Hey, if you ever want a job on a boat," and I was like, I've never really tried that, so I wanted to. And it was great.
I've never done prawn fishing commercially. I've done some just some personal prawn fishing and such, but
it was
crazy times. I bet
I would do it again. And then, in fact, the skipper now comes into Riptide, where I work in Campbell River, and comes in with his wife when they're doing their shrimp run. They live up in Port McNeil, I believe, and they come down. They do a wall can delivery every Thursday, so then they usually come into Riptide for some grub, and he's already obviously lining up prawn fishing for this year, and I told him, if I put in my notice early enough with Riptide that I'll need like a month and a week or so, then
worthwhile.
It can be, and he's already told me he's going to give me a substantial raise from the first time I did it because I know how to do the work.
You know how to do it exactly. How to train you.
So it was fun. It was something that's so good being out on the water. We didn't go. We were the only boat that didn't really leave the area. We came home every night. I think most of the boats who came into the Gubby docks in Harriet Bay came home every night. Their boats were just a lot faster than ours. We topped it at 7 knots max. We just but the war, it was the war pig, I called it. Puddle on, but it was the nicest wide body aluminum to work on. It's just lots of room, while all the other boats are ripping out in the morning. They're ripping past us in the back, they're already done their day. Forget where I was going with that.
How dope prawn fishing is.
There's lots of stuff to look at here. I'm looking around, just getting.
Well, it's kind of why I put this sheet up, because it's a bit of a distracting studio in here. It's every space of the walls are filled. And there's something
I'm super easily distracted. And I haven't been in here in a couple years, so I'm looking around, holy shit, look at all this kind of cool stuff. Looking around.
Fun stuff. Lots of fun stuff. But this shop's been great to me. We're really happy to have this space. It's been we've got a studio in the studio now, so we're always expanding, trying to make it better in here, right? So,
you didn't have the glass studio, the retail area there that you have set up last time I was in.
Kind of like the little gallery corner, as I call it.
Gallery corner.
Yeah, so you get to have your little display area somewhere, right? So you have to have somewhere to put your finished work, right? So,
so you're open. What are your hours?
I don't really have.
people.
I don't have set hours, but if I know I'm going to be here, and I don't mind having people come in. I'll flip the open sign, and then people can come in, check out the shop, and check out the gallery. But I'm trying to get more people coming in to try to do more lessons, tours, that kind of thing. I got that Airbnb ad type thing going on. So, if there's any local Airbnbs that want to send their guests to have like the Airbnb experience, I got it linked up on there now. So I think that's kind of like a cool thing for people to do while they're on Quadra.
I think so. Something different. It's probably how. I think the thing that'll stop some people is I think it'd be really difficult. So. Like to do basic stuff, so
it can be. It is a difficult thing for sure, right? But with the proper approach to it, you can walk away with something on your first try that you're going to be stoked and it's going to last forever, right? If you don't break it, right? It's like it's glass, which is kind of cool. But
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, the whole Airbnb thing is kind of wild, though. That's definitely a hot topic on the island.
Oh, the Airbnb
with the whole housing accom and everything. You scored a rental on the island, so you're happy with that, hey?
Yeah. I've been super fortunate. Like I don't consider myself a very lucky person. I guess we're all lucky in different ways. Some people lucky at cards, lucky at life. I don't know, but I've always been very lucky. As far as it comes to finding places to live, which is huge. I mean, I've lived here it'll be 5 years in April.
Yeah.
And I'm now in my 5th place.
Yeah.
And, I started at the dog patch and, I, went from the bottom to the top.
Yeah.
And ended up living up on Schooner Road overlooking all the Spit.
Oh, wow. The $1 million view, as you would say, right?
Yeah. I was up on, I don't think they'd mind me shouting out their names, but anyway, some friends had a basement suite there that I ended up renting with a friend for a bit, and it was the $1 million view.
That's awesome.
It was insane. But they had a family member, I believe, that was going to move in and take the suite, so we were out, and then I went and lived with some people might know this guy Aldi. We
should get him on here. Hey?
Aldi is getting his ass.
Shout out to Aldi. Get in here.
Aldi, you're coming on, bud. Big time. When you get your canned ass back from Mexico.
Is he down in Mexico now or what?
Oh, he's in Mexico.
He's in Mexico now.
Oh, yeah. Smoking cigs and drinking mezcal.
Yeah, likely.
Just living it up, So I went and lived with him for a little bit, and then I ended up in the Yum Yum Tree.
Okay.
If anyone can tell us in the comments why it's called the Yum Yum Tree, the tallest structure on Quadra.
Yeah. That's the 5-plex right on the corner. Right?
And I was up in the top loft there, and that place was pretty good. I was there for over a year and a bit, and then I ended up in the trailer at the HBI. So I did some trailer living in the HBI. Everybody should put in a shift.
Not in the dog patch, in
the
camping area.
Yep. Next to old Dakarooney there.
Nice.
Shout out to Dak. And that was great, living in a 5th wheel for over a year as well. And now I live downtown Quadra. So I was Harriet Bay for all those years.
Yeah.
Now I'm a Cove Sider.
Yeah.
No longer a Bay. No longer in the Bay. So. And right downtown, it's convenient for me because I gotta go to work. So lucky with places to live. It's a real problem if you're on the Facebook, which you guys obviously are. If you're checking this out, I'm sure you're seeing the swap and shop. You're seeing the cork board. It's people, place to live. I need a room. And the Airbnbs, especially during our busy months here on the island, are just they're taking everything. And a lot. It's them to do what they want with their property, but a lot of people are quite pissed about it.
Yeah, it's tough.
I don't know what you've heard.
No, it's definitely, it's unfortunate when prices have gone up a lot.
Yeah.
People are broke, it's people are not, everybody's doing super, it's like people are fucking just kind of getting by and trying to figure out, hey, how can I make some more? How do you, a lot of people, it's like, how do I make that next move? You're doing what you're doing now, but how do you make that next move and to step into that next, whether or not it's buy that first property or get that new job or get that second property or whatever, right? It's daunting, man. And Quadra, there used to be I remember there was like 40 places for sale or something, and now there's what, maybe 14, 20 tops.
Yeah.
And then if you're going to look at places under 500,000, I think there's two. There's 5 acres on the south end with a couple of trailer type things, or there's 2.5 acres across the road from my shop, which, I'd love to buy.
Yeah.
I'd love to. I even got friends that want to get in on it too, right? But that's huge commitment, right? It's the tax.
Yep.
And learning, man. Like I'm young and dumb and don't know anything about this whole real estate market and taxes and property insurance and taxes and subdividing and all that type of thing. And I'm trying to learn and develop those kind of skills, and holy shit, you start to learn about it, just like, whoa, man.
Another cost.
Yeah, how are people doing this? But then when you start to look at it, it's like there are a lot of people that are, you can do it on other people's money. That's like, it's the concept of, it's paying your debts with other people's money. And that's one way that some people look at it. Some people, they go and work really hard, and they go and will save and start small and build up and build up and build up.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one way to do it. Or the other way is to essentially, look, borrow, invest. Yeah, they're not actually using your own, out of pocket money type thing, right? But then there's like the world of interest, money getting created out of thin air.
Yes.
Right? I loan you $1,000 at 20% interest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now you're paying it back. Well, where does that 20% come from? It's just like created out of thin air, right? It's like, whoa, this is getting crazy, right? And then the fluctuation of the market, it's just like we just had that recent property assessment that happened here. And all of the people that own properties, or a lot of them would have had their properties assessed.
Yeah.
And a lot of the values went up like crazy, probably everyone on the island. So is that a good thing? Well, depending on your situation, because now you're going to be paying more property tax because your property is now worth more. If you were hoping to go and flip type thing, well, now you're going to hopefully be making more money because your property's gone up and you're going to flip type thing. But as for the rental market, now those prices are it's going up more, right? So it's
we're on too. We're like, you're an owner, right?
Well, no, not even, right? We're in a really unique situation where we don't own the land. All we own is the structure. We own the wood that's sitting on our parents' property, kind of thing, right? So we don't own any property for ourselves. So that's something where I look at and go, oh, how do you actually get into that real estate market? Because there's the assets and then there's the liabilities, right? Our place it's not an asset. It's a liability, because to you or to the bank or to someone else, it's not worth anything. It's not putting any money in our pocket at all. It's a liability. If it burns down, we have no house. Right? If the tap floods our place, it's going to cost us money, right? It's not bringing anything in. So it's not an asset, right? Truck, it's not an asset. Well, it's a little bit of an asset because it's going to make me money because I can get to Vancouver. Yeah. I can use that as an asset, right? But it's more of a liability because it's costing me money every month for gas and for insurance and for maintenance and, it's like... and kind of seeing that, and you see these people that own. There's this one guy on the YouTube. I forget the guy's name, Richard something. The Asian guy. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Okay. I was following his YouTube videos or whatever, and he owns 7,000 rental properties. Him and his wife, and those are all assets because they're putting money into his pocket. Right. It's like, whoa,
7,000.
Yeah, and he's like, oh yeah, I own a boat, and usually boats are liabilities for people, but my boat's a charter boat, and I rent it out for 3/4 of the month, right? So I was like, holy shit, right? So you see people that you're like, once you kind of figure out this whole system, and I'm sure he's not paying a tax rate that's super, you start to pay corporate tax rate because your corporate tax rate is lower than your personal tax rate. I make $500,000 and I have a really good year and I sold a whole bunch of glass kind of thing. Yeah. I'm gonna have to pay, it's like 40-something crazy % on that $500,000. And so you're gonna be paying so much out. But if Gibson's Glassworks Incorporated makes that. You only pay a corporate tax rate of like, it was like 15 or 20%.
The ink. You need the ink.
Exactly, right? So that's one way of going about it. Oh! Dude, we got Quadra Quadcast going on there. We got a special guest, Mr. CJ, up in the house. Nice to see you, man. You want to have a seat? Join us. You guys know each other, huh?
Yeah, like we've had minimal interaction, but it's fine.
We're Quadra acquaintances. We're basically best friends.
Nice.
I think we drank together like 4 times.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, the drinking thing.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah, it's awesome,
This
man.
is like Mr. Rogers' neighborhood.
Exactly,
It's like swing by him. Who could that be?
Exactly. That's funny. I've been waiting for that to happen on one of the episodes, but it hasn't happened yet.
The old walk-in.
Yeah,
official walk.
exactly, right? The official walk-in.
Yeah, you just pump some new life. And we were talking about like taxes. And
Yeah, I know that was getting pretty dry
It was-
there.
it was starting to get a little dry.
Yeah.
I was about to mix it up and just about to say, I don't know shit. I just rent.
I rent. Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
you're going off about all this stuff, and I'm like, I'm trying to sit here like I understand.
yeah, no, it's been total talk of my fucking month though, is the whole finance, and you know it's one of those things that people don't want. They don't want to talk about sex. They don't want to talk about finance or religion or politics. I guess, right? You know, it's kind of like
4 things.
yeah. So let's talk about all of them. We got the taxes done. Sex. You guys been?
How much sex you been having?
How much sex have you been?
Tax on sex if it's a religion.
Yeah. Whoa.
Nice one.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
So what are you up to today?
Oh, just cleaning up from the fundraiser, the Australian
Oh,
fundraiser
nice.
at the Legion yesterday.
Nice. You were helping out.
Yeah.
Nice.
Super good turnout, super good
Yeah.
everything. We raised lots of money for Australia. I got the organizers got some ridiculously cool prizes
Nice.
for raffles and stuff. Both a couple of the Driftwood artists from Campbell River.
Nice.
Lots of local artists.
That's right.
Did you want to shout any names out for that while we're live here?
Oh,
Thank anybody for the.
Just thank you to everyone who contributed, all the
Nice.
artists and everybody who donated.
It went off well.
It went
It was
off.
a success.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
I
I went
all the
in.
way through the meat draw and everything.
Nice. I went in and saw the sweets table. I didn't really want to use clothes or use things. I missed the raffle. It was just closed as I got there, but I hit the sweets table and I was like, I'll probably get 20 and just load up a tray. How about that?
All of a sudden, like 7 people came in, just like arms full of bacon. Like,
Oh, yeah.
congratulations.
Yeah, that was nice.
People
Yeah.
Quadra come out when it
They
comes to
came
help
out.
and folk.
Yeah, and that came together rather quickly, didn't it?
Real quick.
Claire, I think, put
Yeah.
that together.
Yeah, Claire and Greg.
Shout out to Claire for doing that. That was awesome.
Nice.
Um,
That's sweet. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been sad seeing that whole Australia thing, man. Just witnessing it from over here, it's just like, whoa.
It's nuts. I've got quite a few Australian friends I've met from my travels.
Yeah.
And I've been making sure, to do what I can to just say, hopefully everyone in your circle is safe,
Yeah.
because it's not safe. I've had fires before. We get the fires
Yeah,
here,
we're
but
familiar
nothing
with
like
it.
that.
No,
man.
no.
That's on an epic scale what's going on down there. And they're finally getting some rain from the last
Yeah.
that I saw today, and golf ball sized hailstones
Whoa.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like let's go from one extreme to the other.
Yeah.
They're getting those poor guys. So they've been having a rough go. So that's great that Quadra came together and
Yeah.
and
That's
did that.
I heard on the radio they were talking about somebody had proposed moving all of the koalas to New Zealand, and then they brought this expert on, and she's like, "I'm going to tell you all the reasons why that's a terrible idea." Okay, and I guess they've done that before with a bunch of things. They brought it was like some weasels or something there, some from Canada, and there was like a bunch of things they have brought there. They totally messed with it. The
invasive species.
turned into invasive species, exactly, right? So
Just as, The Simpsons has done it many, many times before.
Yeah.
It predicts things. Don't
Yeah,
they remember the Australia episode where Bart takes the frog, the bullfrog, and he takes it home with him, and then the camera zooms out as they're flying away, and the frog's like the koala is hanging on the the bottom of it, and it's like dun, dun, dun. It's like see, you can't bring those koalas anywhere, man.
Yeah, and the Simpsons is fucked with their predictions, hey? Like,
Long time.
Telling
they
you,
say he's a time traveler.
I was just gonna
Matt
say,
Groening.
Yeah,
It's gotta be
a bunch of things that have lined up. There was one that was super true. It was like some math equation or something that was on the chalkboard that Bart he wrote this crazy math equation one day, and that equation had never been like come out in mathematical theory, and then it like came out or what? And they're like, what the fuck? And it was like a few. I got into the YouTubes of like the 20 times Simpsons predicted the future, or whatever.
Was it when he was doing his like chalkboard lines at the start of the episode?
So. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's trippy how accurate down to the way he draws it.
Yeah.
Like that picture of Trump and those other people around that glowing fucking globe or whatever.
Yeah.
Exact.
It happened.
It's crazy.
Trump on the elevator.
Yeah.
The elevator one blew my mind. I was like, that can't be
The one
real.
of him and Lisa and him and Greta was so good. Lisa just glaring at him from the wings.
Yeah.
And Greta
Yeah, that's fucking wild, hey? Yeah, Simpsons. I guess they ended this year.
Really?
I heard that it was like this was going to be their final season or something, but I don't know if that's.
I haven't actually watched the new episode. And
Well, they're hard to stream online.
They're still coming out Sunday night at 8:00 or 9, like they always have.
Yeah.
And
I think it's like Disney Plus got the rights to it, so people watch the new episodes. They're all on Disney Plus or whatever.
Disney's really going after Netflix.
Yeah, well, fuck.
Disney has all the money.
Yeah.
I mean, Netflix has all the money too, but Disney got more.
Disney's got more.
Disney's got
Netflix, you are broke. I saw a thing where it was like somebody broke down what's going to happen in the next 100 years with Disney buying everything.
Yeah.
It was like, they just like keep buying everything. It was like Mickey Mouse becomes president and like all this crazy shit, right? Like, nice.
Luke Iran. Pretty much president. Yeah, that's not good.
Yeah, Jesus.
Have you guys seen all the stuff about what Akon's doing in Africa?
No.
You know the rapper Akon?
Yeah.
He's fucking got his own city in the works in Africa. Own cryptocurrency, own healthcare system.
Well, Akon is a rapper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's been investing and making his money do stuff in
Find the city.
Yeah, he's like,
Whoa.
he's got the, what did I say? He's secured the, not funding, but like the approvals for his city in Africa.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I think I saw a blurb about that, an article or something. I didn't actually read it, but I saw something about it. It's like Akon, some city, Africa. It's like, what?
What he's doing with the solar, he's been doing for years too, apparently. Like, just supplying people over there with solar power.
That's great. I mean, it's nice to see, how much money does Akon have? I mean, he was huge, like, what hit in like what's early 2000s.
Yeah,
I
didn't even remember.
He hasn't been. I haven't heard. Yeah, he hasn't been any relevant for any time. But I mean, I guess he's still got some bank, and some investors, obviously, to be starting up a project like that. But it's nice to see people doing at least philanthropic things with their money, right?
Yeah, not just wasting it.
There we go.
It's the lifestyle.
He's got it. The lighting Africa, bringing hope to millions, and ultimately giving Africa a better future.
Yeah, so I don't know. Check it out if you guys want to. Looks kind of neat. I don't really know anything about this guy. So is that Akon?
Yeah.
This guy? Okay.
Yeah,
No, you remember that song "Locked Up"? I got locked up, they won't let me out. Locked up.
No, sounds good though. I like it.
Can we pump music through the thing?
Yeah.
You have the reggae going on the.
I don't
Jeremy
know
Collins.
about copyright shit though. I just playing like a live stream.
I don't think
yeah.
Akon will mind for plugging his comments.
Yeah, Akon. Yeah, we're just plugging it.
Yeah.
That's
funny.
Yeah, it's good to see.
Oh yeah, we got fucking our not affiliate to the Quadcast podcast that started up too as well. Jeez, we are not associated with the Quadcast podcast.
Yeah. If you're searching for us and to see the Quadcast podcast, those are the other guys. But that's my friend Nick. He fronts that band, Quadra Sound. Check those guys out if you get a chance. They're just wild live. They got a really cool couple music videos too that are hilarious. That one right there, Starlight. Starlight. The middle one there. Yeah, hilarious. These guys are just wild live. Check them out, and they started up their own Quadcast as well. So I actually work with him. So next time I see you, Nick, I'm going to have to bring you a couple cease and desist letters, I think, from the lawyer.
Yeah.
We actually started the Quadcast about a week before.
Yeah.
Sorry to tell you, buddy.
So yeah, we did have some issues with trying to find things. That's why I made it the Quadra Quadcast, because the search was having an issue, but these guys are messing up our search algorithms as well too. So get a grip over there. Yeah,
they're
get a grip.
cutting into our shit.
Yeah, the music's all right though, but I've had enough.
Yeah.
Did you
Rock and
get
roll.
that sonic cleaner?
Yeah,
Yeah.
ultrasonic cleaner is rocking. I got a bunch of bong cleaner that came in too. I had these guys. Look at this, actually. There we go. I'll give them the old shout out to the 420 Formula 420 cleaner. pretty sent me the inflatable. That was pretty hilarious. Ended up costing me like $40 and fucking broke, because they send it UPS though. They'll never get anything sent from America, FedEx or UPS. You always have to get the USPS, like United States Postal Service, because they go with Canada Post.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, doing the FedEx or the UPS just chances, yeah.
Do they make you pay extra because it gets transferred into Canada Post?
Well, it's like they'll pay like a brokerage. I actually had that guy, Corey. Shout out to Corey, the delivery guy. He's the guy that rolls around in that minivan delivering everybody's packages on Quadra.
Oh, okay. It's good to know. The people maybe don't know that.
Yeah, exactly. Super nice guy, actually. He's covered in tatties and shit. Looks like a big hardcore dude. Actually, really nice dude.
Super beard.
Yeah, exactly. He must have known where my shop was, because it was I didn't have this shop's address. He just came and dropped it off at my shop, and I was like, oh sweet. I was like, oh fuck, that's why it costed me extra money to have you drop it.
Yeah, he showed up to our tiny home like out in the bush up off Green Road one day randomly, and like we don't even have a real address yet.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh hey, here you go.
Yeah, personal delivery, pretty sick.
He's on it. When I was delivering in Fort Mac, that's what it was like. Like I can just look at my packages and like, oh hey Susan, here's your Amazon.
Yeah, yeah. You're doing deliveries, hey?
Yeah.
Amazon deliveries.
Yeah, like $150 a day.
Dude, it's crazy the amount of Amazon, hey? Fucking Bezos is balling. Yeah, I was watching a thing. They were saying they wanted their Amazon packages to be delivered within 1 hour in the next few years.
You're on some upward swing. Get Amazon. Like,
well, as the level of human impatience grows.
Yeah, right.
People sitting at their door waiting for me because they get an email when I was like 3 deliveries away, being like, "Oh, you're next in line. You should be there at this time," because they're like tracking it as I do my deliveries on my phone and stuff. And so people would be waiting there and be like, "Oh, hey, you're a couple minutes late." Okay, sorry.
How about those package thieves? Hey, have you seen those?
I had to deal with a couple package thieves. Like, it's weird feeling like you're in somebody following us, and yes, there is somebody who's like stay a block behind me, and I'd see the same tuck in and watch me do a straight.
Crazy,
and as soon as I turn the corner,
a big thing apparently.
So shady.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even know what they're getting, but it's probably worth. So they might be getting some sort of shampoo, or it could be a laptop. I mean,
you're just chinsing somebody over.
Yeah, absolutely.
I delivered 1 Duracell watch battery
Yeah,
to a person.
Yeah.
And then I also delivered 20 headlamps individually packaged
Nice.
to a business who was giving them out as
Yeah.
like incentives and prizes. And there was this guy who got like, I don't know, it's been 30 Raspberry Pi like programming Arduino boards for robots and stuff like that. Like everything, toilet paper, laundry detergent.
Just at the convenience, they just don't. Nobody wants to go out anymore. I can pay for it from my fucking couch.
Snacks.
Bring it to me.
Like,
Fly it here by drone if need be, which is supposed to be happening soon. They're going to start delivering stuff with drones.
Yeah.
Which is nuts.
You see, Vancouver, they just put that the OxyContin vending machine in. Yeah, it's the
Is this the handprint thing?
No, it's like a vending machine where if you need to get your fucking prescription or whatever, you can sign up to go get it out of this like vendo now right next to the like overdose. I was like, I guess that's good. Like the concept is it's like, oh, you can get it there easier than having to get it from the shady guy in the alley or something, right? But like, Oh man, that shit is
Oh,
fucking wild. Like
Yeah.
not allowed to have weed vending machines, but
But here's some opioids.
here's the opium vending machine downtown. Like what the fuck,
Heavy
right?
duty drugs for it.
that is nuts. Someone was Luke Renda. Renda was going off last
Renda?
night at the poker game. Renda. He said Renda's gonna come by.
Oh yeah.
But he was
Nice.
he was talking something last night about something you go and you scan your hand and it scans your blood thing through thing, and then they can give you. I don't know. He was kind of going off on a little tangent about it last night.
He
This is
would.
during the poker game. But something where you scan your hand and it scans what's going on with your bloodstream in here, and then they can something with dispensing drugs. But it was something like that. Too. I don't know if it like pricks you or whatever and gives you what you
It
need,
actually
but
doses you.
Yeah.
Crazy.
yeah, I don't know.
That's
I'm
pretty
gonna.
crazy though.
Renda, we're gonna have to figure out what the hell you're talking
Imagine
about.
though if you had like a little machine, you put your hand in, and it goes and tests your body. And it's like, oh, you're low in like iron, potassium, and fucking this, and it goes, and it's like ingest, and now you're like, oh fuck, I'm like perfectly balanced, to like balance you or whatever.
2 iron pills and a piece of banana or something.
Kind of reminds me of that. There was that I think Rogan had him on. He was that guy who made that. It was like a smoothie style drink that had everything in it. And he just drank, and he was drinking it for like 2 years or something. And he's like, "This is the healthiest I've ever been in my life because it's like the perfect amount of everything that your body needs in one thing." And he's like, "Yeah, it's chemically balanced to be perfect."
That's all he consumed. Like
all he
didn't eat
consumed.
anything, Just
Yeah, and probably water, you
Yeah.
would think, right? But like, whoa.
This is actually, this must be what he's talking about here, because it says this guy, machine that was created in Toronto would scan a patient's hand for identification before dispensing a pre-programmed number of hydromorphone pills
Whoa.
that are a substitute for heroin.
Whoa.
So that's what he's talking about. It scans your hand, lets you know, and then
Yeah.
gives you
Gives
whatever,
you a little.
whatever you need.
Woo.
those hydromorphs are something else. Like when I got in my accident, cut up my arm real bad, and I was in the hospital. They gave me those when I got out, and I couldn't even stay on them because I lost probably like a week. Just they worked. Like I wasn't feeling the intense, psychotic, mind-racking pain that I was in, but also couldn't function.
Yeah.
So, like, really
Double-edged sword, right?
Yeah,
It's like,
you really. It's you can see how easy it is to drop into a serious addiction with that kind of stuff.
Well, and like I guess and they just cut you off when you're done. Okay, now you're done.
Have a good day.
Yeah.
And then what are you supposed to do?
Yeah. I mean,
now you're,
they should be weaning you off of that
you would think there should,
medically.
Yeah.
So
Here's some super high CBD pills to get you off of that synthetic heroin.
We were all joking about that UFC last night. We're like, all these fucking UFC fighters are all on CBD now. They're so relaxed. So good.
CBD's everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Fuck.
It's gonna be in kids' breakfast cereal.
It's like diet weed. It's like diet everything.
Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes now with 3% CBD.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
There you go. Send your kids off to school.
I'd rather they start giving kids CBD than Ritalin, though.
Well,
Yeah.
sure, yeah. Forcing it on them. Yeah.
I had to go down that journey when I was in the younger years, and that shit really messed you up
Crazy,
too. Like I was
right?
having
That was the
psychotic
thing.
mood swings and shit.
That was a thing back in the day. That,
Yeah, it was like, oh, ADHD, got it, boom, Ritalin, get you focused, you do your homework, and then you'll like go on a homicidal rampage and try and kill all your bullies at school.
Only
Right?
only after you finish your homework.
Yeah,
exactly.
you can focus the hell for like 20 minutes and you just lose everything.
Now get your ass at the house and go on a rampage.
Yeah, I wonder, it's like how many people are gonna say that, oh yeah, that really helped me out so much as a kid. Or they're going, fuck.
Yeah.
It's like
I'm sure it did for some, but for many,
I don't
I've never taken it myself.
Yeah. Yeah, crazy shit, hey? Back in high school.
There's something for everything, right?
Yeah, high school was weird, man. I went to high school in Campbell River, which is it's kind of an interesting place.
Were you a Carey High?
Yeah. Carry me, I'm high. Or very high school.
Carry me up very high.
It's probably a line. I thought it was like Carry High, like Carry
Yeah,
High School, not Carry High.
Yeah.
The first time I saw it too, I'm like, how did you get Carey? I'm like, oh, okay, you just took the whatever. But I was wondering if it was like an Irish last name, like Kerry.
Kerry High.
The Kerry Shamrocks. A really bad accent.
Yeah. Yeah, it was funny. No, when I was going to high school, they first built Timberline. So it was like the year where Timberline came in. It was like all the new, almost like the rich kids in Campbell River, the new, the higher class went to Timberline because it's the new school with the college, right? And then all the, the Quadra kids and the natives would go to Kerry High type thing, right?
Yeah.
The poorer end of Campbell River, and I remember there was just a rivalry between the schools in sports and like after school fights and oh yeah, it was like
a little rivalry is good.
Oh yeah, and you would know
especially.
like, oh, the Timberline kids are here. They'd roll in the trucks, right? They all get out, think they're fucking cool, and hang out at the 7-Eleven, right?
Yeah.
And, cut tough kids who Kerry High would come over, and it was like, whoa, this is. I was like an in-betweener because I played hockey and shit. So like I played hockey with all the kids from Timberline.
Yeah.
Right. But then so it was like, all right.
It's good to be the in-between.
Yeah. It was like the Switzerland. Right?
The neutral party.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Ours was the same back home with Trenton, with the neighboring town, and we hated Trenton, they hated us, and but everyone hung out at Tim Hortons parking lots. Yeah. It was same thing. I guess all high schools probably have the same kind of.
I feel really fortunate having gone to high school in California and here.
Oh yeah.
They're complete.
Oh yeah.
Like the layouts of the schools are complete. Like how you see like LA high school on TV and like everything's outside. Yeah. That's how it is. All the open air hallways, and then you go into a building where there's a few classrooms, and then open air hallways to everything, and like the quad and everything's open, but. In Canada, you go into the building and you're in the building because it's fucking cold.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when I was in Fort McMurray, I went to Father Mercury, and the like 3 high schools had the rivalries and stuff, but it wasn't sports or like we're gonna do better than. They actually all got together and just fought each other, like school-wide brawls. Like, we're fighting Westwood this month. Like, 100 people would show up in Westwood and everyone just go to war.
Whoa, that's heavy, hey?
Just misplaced teenage angst at its
finest.
Yeah.
We had a smoke pit. It was just greasy, just greasy. Just like, and that was where like you had to walk past the smoke pit. People were just like, "Hey, fucking queer, fucking bad." It's like, whoa, holy, right? So bad. It was like, yeah. Thinking back, high school was like, wow, that was not PC at all. It was like, whoa, it was, whew.
Yeah, maybe they've gotten better. I don't know.
We never had, like in California, we never had a smoke pit or anything like on campus. We all left to go do stuff because we had open campus for lunch. We'd go to the restaurants and stuff, and we'd go across the street and like down to the end of this cul-de-sac where it was just this row of apartments and then a huge parking lot for the rest of the apartments. And there'd be like 50 people there in a big circle just smoking blunts.
Yeah. My extent of like California high schools is obviously limited to playing in Tony Hawk.
Exactly.
A couple of the best levels in like California high schools.
Yeah,
that's about it. Chad Muska doing his shit.
Those are great, those little Tony Hawk video games.
They were the best, man.
Yeah.
Linking combos together for days.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's about the extent of it. I've always been jealous. Our high school is actually the one that I went to is French immersion. Do you have a French immersion one in Campbell River? Is that the Phoenix?
Phoenix, they're both, it was so weird, but it was the French immersion middle schools, no French immersion high school. You could just go to Kerry High and be in the French program or whatever, right?
I had to go
terrible at that.
The certain school, Bayside High. We used to get mocked at cross country meets or anytime we go for sporting events because we were called Bayside. So, everyone yelling out Mr. Belding jokes and that shit. This was like 96, 97 when Saved by the Bell was still actually a relevant
thing.
What
the school was Bayside?
We were Bayside High. We weren't the Tigers. We were the Red Devils. But we still got hosed. We went to events for sure. But we have one of the, now I don't know if it's true, but somebody always said that we have one of the biggest campuses, which I don't even think that term exists for high schools. Maybe in the States it does, but because the state's schools are huge with their stadiums and everything.
Yeah.
But we had 4 soccer fields, a ball diamond. We had a quarry that had access to, that we could go and we could play broom ball on, or we could go swimming and hike through there. We used to do our cross country meets through there. So someone had told us we had one of the largest campuses for a high school in Canada.
Whoa.
So that was kind of cool.
Pretty hype to be going there.
And then some kid in the summer jumped off one of the quarry jumps and like broke his neck. So they had to dynamite the shit out of the cliff, and we never got to go in there again.
No more of that.
That's pretty quick. Yeah.
You go in it? Or what do you mean?
Yeah, he jumped off like a cliff, like 30
yeah.
feet or something like that. But it was, I don't know if it was on school time, but I
Oh,
think
yeah.
it was in the summer or something. But he jumped off, broke his neck, and
Yeah.
they dynamited the cliff off because they knew kids went there all the time.
Oh, yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, it's brutal.
Our campus was huge, like in California, Washington High School.
Yeah.
Like it was a full city block.
How many students, probably, roughly?
5,000.
That's a lot. That's a
I think.
lot.
Like there were.
I think it was about 600 in Cary High when I was going there. 600.
I think we were at 1,000. Basically.
There were 600 in my 8th grade graduating class.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Lots of kids in schools, but we had pretty much a professional football field, like turf and fucking tires.
High school football is huge.
Yeah, and like the bouncy track, super nice because we were a sports magnet and our football team was the shit.
Yeah.
So we had like a professional fucking football stadium, 2 baseball fields, a softball field, and 2 soccer fields, and then a park, like a city park that was part of the school, and 4 tennis courts.
Fuck. Jesus.
I remember when I was going to Cary High, we had a tennis court in the back, but it was totally overgrown with blackberries, and all the court was all like fucked. Yeah, it was totally fucked. And then then they put in like the new fields when I was just going there. So we had like these brand new 2 fields, and that was like the big thing. And like, oh yeah, now I go there, and they've actually renovated those tennis courts now, and they put in like 2 newer courts or whatever in the Cary High. But I was like, wow, look at that. It is fucking pretty ghetto.
Giant blackberry.
It was pretty ghetto.
There's legends about the kids that go missing in there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and there was like the 420 forest or whatever that was like down across the fields, and like that's where everyone went and blazed down there, kind of thing. And it was like,
We had
Camp River High School. This shit.
we called it the meta station,
Oh yeah.
and it was like in the back of the soccer fields. There was like the secondary parking lot for all the kids who didn't want to pay for like the parking spots in the nice parking lots at school. So you go around in this dirt parking lot in the back between all the soccer fields, and there was this tree that had fallen down but grew 3 more trees up out of it. So they like slurped up super cool, and we'd all just sit in them. And they hung super low. Like if you were standing on the sidewalk and looking in, the grass was just tall enough and the trees were just low enough that there was like a little sliver that you couldn't really see anything in there. So you just like climb up in there. 20, 30 of us smoking weed. They just start to smoke eventually.
Should we ask CJ these questions from Barb?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, bring them up. All right. Yeah, Barb gave us a suggestion of questions that we should be asking guests when they come by.
Yeah.
So let's give her a test run.
Yeah, Barb was sending me some messages saying that she listened to a couple of the shows, so pretty stoked on all of the feedback that everybody's been given so far. I really like hearing the guests that you guys want to have on and yada yada yada. So anyway, let's get some quick answers for you. Like, where were you born?
California.
Where does your family originate from?
Africa.
Okay. Both your mom and your dad?
Yeah, my mom was born in Quebec, and my dad was born in Gary, Indiana.
Nice.
Gary?
Gary.
Good old
Indiana.
Gary.
My dad grew up with the Jackson 5.
What kind of
Wait, let's pause here for a second.
What?
You grew up with the Jackson 5?
Yeah.
Like, knew them
Yeah,
personally?
like played baseball with them, like City League, like grew up like 2 streets down
In
from them.
Indiana.
Yeah, Gary, Indiana.
Oh, shit.
Cool.
He used to play drums for them sometimes.
That's cool.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah.
See, Barb, without that
Thanks,
question,
Barb.
you
Yeah,
wouldn't have found
exactly.
out that CJ's old man sat in possibly, or did with the J5.
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
great.
pretty cool, man.
What kind of jobs have you had on Quadra?
Drywalling, shoveling dirt, basic Quadra jobs,
Nice.
hauling wood.
Nice.
But mostly drywalling and taping.
That's cool. That's cool. Who would you like to see on the Quadcast?
Everybody.
Everybody.
Any and everybody.
Anybody and everybody. Cool. Cool. What would you like to see built on Quadra, and what kind of business are we missing on Quadra?
That's a good question.
This is gonna be the stumper.
Yeah.
This is gonna be the one that gets
You
me.
got anything or what?
As far not as far as a business goes at the top of my head, but when Jeremy was on here the other day,
Yeah.
you guys were talking about this, and he said, "Oh, we're talking about Cortez."
Mhm.
I said, "Why doesn't Quadra have a radio station?" Like that's the one thing I've been saying since I came to the island. When I found out Cortez had a station, like why don't Quadra definitely needs their own radio station? So maybe that's something we can talk about. It's letting some music
I was
come
gonna
here
try.
after we.
I was gonna try with the record store, but it just fell through. I was gonna try. You know where Iceberg's got the comic book store.
Yeah.
I wanted to get both of those spaces and turn what the comic book store into basically the radio station and control room, and then the record store into the record store / recording space.
Yeah, it's just, takes a year of commitment and somebody that wants to throw a bit of dollars at it and actually do it.
That's
Yeah.
always the hard part is getting somebody to throw dollars at it.
Yeah.
Sometimes commitment.
We got the seniors home, and that was super necessary.
Yep. Seniors home's big.
I think what Quadra needs.
Yeah, and even if you had an unlimited budget, because she said if you have $1 million, what would you do to better Quadra? So that all kind of comes into the same question.
Two things I would do with an unlimited budget.
Yeah.
Okay.
A system that would collect rainwater, supplemented with maybe a well specifically drilled for this machine that could help prevent fires, that just shot high pressure plumes of water into the air to make a big fucking umbrella of rain.
In case
Right.
Quadra ever lit on fire
Yes.
or whatever. Sure.
And the other thing is to convert our ferry to electric
I think they're doing that.
and take it from BC Ferry.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Quadra Island.
I just heard today that those electric ferries they're like semi-hybrid ferries they just like arrived in Victoria today or something.
Yeah, they were sailing them over from Norway. That's where they were built.
Somewhere over there, yeah.
They're hybrid or something. Right?
Something like that, yeah.
I've seen the fancy YouTube video with all the beautiful drone work shots.
Yeah,
of it
yeah.
spinning
That's
in
what
the
we're paying
middle
for
and sailing
sure.
around. It looks like it has a spoiler on it. It looks like it's built for speed.
Like the new Disney cruise ship has that big wing and the big point at the back.
Yeah, these ships now they're crazy, but I don't know what that is. It just looks like a spoiler, like an old 92 Civic or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's for when
It's gonna keep it down out of the wind when it gets a little choppy out there.
bad weather when he's got to hit the NOS.
The NOS.
I was thinking if I had the unlimited budget, something that would be really dope on Quadra would be kind of like the mini Strathcona Gardens style rec center where you had like a pool type thing with like a kiddie pool type area for like a leisure pool and then like a little lanes kind of area, and then like have like attached hot tub, sauna, steam room type thing. You could even have it attached with like yoga and massage parlor type thing all attached into it, so it's like even with like includes the public showers with public bathroom. Like I don't even have a toilet here, so when I have people here that they're like, oh, where can I go? It's like, well, there's an outhouse at the community center at the skate park.
Yeah.
You can go to the BC Ferry shitter until noon. Right? It's like, oh, where can I have a shower? Oh, it's like we don't even have it's like, well, you can go to the Harriet Bay Inn. It's a campsite, but it's not really it's not like the community thing
like
or
a public shower.
or whatever. I don't know. I think that would be a cool thing that with laundry there and just like even when people are out of power or whatever, there's something there. Like our shower froze in our drain, and we're like, oh shit, where are we gonna go shower?
Yeah, I would like to see that. Like not do anything to the existing community center, but build another one.
just add on, like
even
an
to
upgrade.
leave the space, like leave the baseball fields and like leave the community center as it is.
Yeah.
But also build that. It's like a place, like a community center rec hall.
Yeah, with the money.
Yeah,
Maybe.
with
If we had the money.
Funds. And that was one that with the unlimited funds, that was one that came up. I remember I posted on the Facebook. It was like, what are 3 things that could be better on Quadra or something? And like a bunch of people put some negative comments, like, oh, nothing. This place is amazing. It was like, okay, I'm sure there are things that could be better. You know, I feel like another one is like our garbage system is kind of strange. It's not really, you know, the whole recycling system is kind of, you know, we don't have any kind of system for that. We're bringing it over to town or whatever, or we're paying tickets to have our things collected, and then people are just abusing this recycling center. You know, that's something that could probably be done way better.
Yeah,
sustainability fixes.
Yeah, you know, and
I think most people are pretty respectful and good about that, but there's a few that are really bunging it up there.
Yeah,
it's Mike Windrum that takes care of that. Yeah, who does a bang up job from what.
Is he the one who's out there sorting all the stuff out of his bins and everything?
You would think. I think he's the guy that's kind of in charge of it.
Whoever it is, if it is you, fantastic. Whoever it is, if it's not, thank you.
Yeah. Big thanks to Mike. I believe he's the guy that takes care of all that. And it's there's a lot and it's quite the whole area down there. It's quite organized and clean. But then there are the posts where someone's dumped cigarette butts and a whole bunch of whatever. Yeah. Just whatever they felt was at their convenience to dump there. So
it seems to be a continuous thing that's abused. It's something that, you know, they tried to do that whole single stream system to make it easier, which, you know, I don't know if that is necessarily it or whatever, right? But I don't know. It's something, you know, it's amazing when you start looking at how much waste you have, right? I really like how Yellow Dog did their new system with their containers, where you can bring in your old containers to Yellow Dog and have them filled rather than having to get new containers for your things every time. Oh, that was pretty good, you know. It's like little things or whatever,
That's
right?
Something else I would like to see is like more Yellow Dog, like a bigger bulk, not bulk, but like take what you need store.
Yeah, well, I was kind of thinking the whole community garden is kind of it's a funny thing that's going on there. You call it a community garden. It's not really a community garden. It's a for purchase private garden that you can get 20 by 20 for yourself, and it doesn't go to the community. Yes, they do donate some to some of the community events and some leftovers or whatever, but if there were actually like a community gardening program where this is the community garden where all of the food then goes to the community food store that we have our community volunteers that run, that so that any time that you need food, you can go up, you know. You have to have something that is in there for abuse, so people aren't coming in and taking 500 pounds of potatoes for themselves, you know. It's just like, no, you know, a system be put in place or whatever, right? But that was something with the community garden, and I was kind of like, man, this is. I had a plot there for a bit, and then I gave it up because it was kind of like all these people aren't agreeing on anything. They're all just bickering and can't agree on how to grow anything, so they all just grow their own little plot. And like, if we were all growing this as one plot, then, you know, if we did 100 rows, right, and you do 100 rows, you know, and then you get, you know, and I don't know why that wouldn't work. I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons why it wouldn't work too, right? I'm not a professional fucking community gardener, right?
Like,
but
even if
there's room for improvement.
Even if we could, unlimited funds,
buy
a fat plot of land and have a Quadra farm, like a large plot of land, large scale farming to be able to sustain everybody on the island, all the winter folk.
Jobs on the island even.
Because
you're going to start making excess of things. You're going to start having to even export things because Quadra Farms is creating, you know.
And then that gives a boost to Durco being able to up his thing, because then more and more people will be buying his meat and buying in with his veggies and his stuff, and like it. I think it would just snowball into.
Even, you know, everyone would have to play their own role in making something successful right now. If you want something to be successful, everybody would have to come together and cooperate and put their own, you know, kind of thing. That's, you know, people tend to want to do their own thing right now because there isn't necessarily a cooperative system put in place. Right? Co-ops are a thing that do happen in areas and they work in areas. Clearly, it's a thing. But, you know, it's getting that initial system in place and trying to get people to change is a really difficult one, right? So
the initial getting people to start working together with the idea that this common cause that we're working at is going to benefit everybody and get that little selfish.
It's adapting,
Yeah.
right?
People over that little selfish hurdle.
Yeah, to be like, but I need to have.
Yeah, I need to, my little, stash thing. And
It's a tricky one. As soon as you start getting into food too, because like everybody needs it. It's a commodity, but it there's so much waste to it too. And like our grocery store is. It's funny how I was chatting with one guy in the store there. I'm like, oh yeah, not many choices in here in a lot of ways, right? You go to a Thrifties in Nanaimo, compared to our local grocery store, True Value, and you're like, whoa, there's nothing. Whoa, but then
like the produce section is the size of our grocery store.
But then you go to a even in Mexico or something, you go to your convenience store or whatever, and you're thankful to have this here, right? Or even some of these lower end grocery stores in some of the more outer end community, the old Kmart, the old Safeways or whatever, and you're like, ooh, this is a low end C grade grocery store.
The one they didn't even bother to close down.
Yeah,
When
all the produce is shit. It's like old.
I just recently, I've always been a terrible grocery buyer, admittedly. I'm just starting to become, as I'm starting to eat better and stuff recently, I've started to spend more money in the stores. I've never had a problem so much with, I think our supply here and what we have for availability over both stores for the island is pretty decent. Mm-hmm. Prices obviously are a little higher. That's what you get for living on another island. But the only thing I have a problem with them is the hours. It's always been the hours, and they seem to not be very interested in wanting to expand the hours when clearly they should be.
Like you're saying, be open till 10 kind of thing?
Just staff people. I mean, it is a liquor store as well. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, some people just want to show up to be able to get a bottle of wine after work or something. Mm-hmm. But they just seem hesitant to want to put that extra staff for an hour or two, even though I think they would make the profit back.
Oh yeah. Sometimes it is dead in the winter time.
I'm not so much talking the winter time. It's more during those, the spring and summer, fall months. It should be open a little later. Yeah. It's just, people are already on the island kind of running around, rushing. It's always a last minute thing. Like, shit, store's closing, gotta go. They just had a little more time to just know they had the time. Yeah. I mean, if it was open till 10, are people just still going to roll in at 9:57? Probably. Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. Maybe not, though. Maybe people will be like, oh, shit, I'm used to going around 9, and now I'm,
One thing that has never even been talked about, really, which they do in a lot of areas, is like to have the window.
The little drive-through.
That's what they do in a lot of places, even in gas stations. They do it in more sketchy areas where they don't let you into the gas station after 10 or whatever. But there's one person there that if you do need something, you roll up to the window, you hit the buzzer, they go, "What do you need?" "Oh, I need fucking, I need a bottle of wine and some cheese, man. Hook it up." And they go and grab it for you, and they go, "That's $12.95." There you go, right?
Yeah. And it's usually just liquor and smokes is what people are after
at that point.
And if you're making some money on that, then maybe it's worth it. I don't know.
I will say, super thankful. At least the gas station is open.
Yeah,
at least the gas station.
They adjusted the 9:30. Yeah, kind of nice. Yeah, the 24-hour convenience on Quad has been talked about before. The stoner munchie 24-hour burritos and frozen pizzas and roll. But it's like, who wants to run it as the thing, right?
Yeah. It's like. It might be tough to staff that one. The 11 to 7.
Yeah, a store full of vendos. One of the rooms in the upper run is just full of vendos. You got the Oxycontin vendo, the weed vendo, the booze vendo, the smokes vendo, everything.
There's where your money.
Exactly.
The 24-hour thing.
Throw an ATM in there and.
I'll tell you, my idea is way less. If I had a bunch of money, mine's way less complicated. I would build like a really dope mini putt course attached to a frisbee golf course.
A frisbee golf course.
Frisbee
with
golf course.
putt-putt.
So and also a mini putt course, like a dope mini, not one with like cheesy windmills and shit.
Yeah.
I'm talking
Like a
like
quadra
I mean,
good
yeah,
mini
like
golf course.
the Augusta
Driftwood and
National.
rocks and shit. You can
Yeah.
make it really nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, driftwood
That's
bumpers.
what I'm talking about. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that's a real class.
Yeah.
I just thought of a really awesome dumb idea that could be your exclusive frisbee golf, mini golf, quadra attractor.
Yep.
Mini golfing with frisbees.
What?
You gotta hit the ball with the frisbee.
I don't know.
I
That's
don't
the
know.
skills challenge.
That is definitely a skill challenge because
Pretty
that
good.
would be very difficult.
Yeah. I
We
like
played a lot of mini putt, I've thrown a lot of frisbees. It would be tough to throw a frisbee at a golf ball.
It'd just be
For
one
a putt.
hole with the bumpers that pizza slice in and the hole right there. And if you can manage to hit the ball with the frisbee, you're probably gonna get it. You just got to get that momentum.
Man, if I have a 3-foot putt for birdie on a $20 bet to win, I'm not putting it with a fucking frisbee.
That's the last hole.
Yeah,
That's the one.
that's the last thing I
where
want to
he
do.
shoots out loonies at you if you win.
I'd rather keep those elements separate. I mean, Cortez has. Still haven't played the frisbee golf course. Have you guys?
Apparently, they have 4 courses on Cortez.
What?
I'd love to.
Apparently.
They got friggin' frisbee courses. They got radio stations.
They don't have a goddamn podcast, though.
That's right. They don't have a podcast.
They don't
I'm
have.
sure they will.
Yeah.
They'll be.
They've heard about it already.
Yeah.
Those goddamn Quadra. Think they're cool. They're Quadcast. We'll show them.
It's ruminating over there.
Yeah,
for sure.
we got 2 radio stations.
We're gonna put our podcast.
Shout
on
out
our
to the
radio
Quad
station.
those radio stations are dope though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
89.5 and 102.9.
Is that which one's the dream?
The
Is that-
Dream? That's
I love
102.9. Yeah,
Is that off Cortez too?
Cortez
Yeah.
Radio. Yeah.
Nice.
And it's like I actually haven't listened to it in a while, but it's still pumping that straight like just everything's kind of island vibey. Like you don't know what you're gonna get.
On the Dream or what?
Yeah, the dream.
It changes up for sure. There's a host that comes on. There's like that. I forget the guy's name.
the station with your mind in mind.
Yeah.
Isn't that what it says? Something
Yeah.
like that? Yeah. It's great.
Yeah.
But it's you throw it on in the background, it's always chill. And
Who was somebody was talking about doing the frisbee golf course on the Swap and Shop or something recently on Quadra, and there was definitely a thread going on about it. I feel like it'd be a good one. It's almost like you just have to do it.
who's got the land? Who's going to give up their land to build?
Community
one? That's-
center.
Oh yeah, I guess it
It's the only logical place to fucking put it. Where else are you gonna put it?
You
do it
got
at the
you got to
community
go
center.
all through the trees.
It's got the
and
room.
shit.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
from the parking lot up through the riding ring.
Yeah, like around the back of the.
Yeah, there's a couple of those trails there behind the bike jumps
Yeah.
over to the batting cage around the skate park.
Yeah.
You can kind of link. You can do across the field again, right? Do
Yeah.
it across, big long cross.
batting cage.
Nobody ever uses it. It's just an old batting cage. And Quadripalooza people camped in there and shit.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was always wondering about that.
Yeah, back in the day when baseball was big on the island, right? But something like that, but
Yeah.
realistically, it's
If they have the land within the trees, like because you don't just want to do it all across the ball field and stuff.
no,
But
yeah,
if you can cut some holes through some of the, even if it's just a 9-hole,
yeah.
that'd be. Yeah,
I've gone there and played myself with like how I usually do it is you go, okay, we're standing here. The next hole is that tree up there in between the
Yeah.
2 shrub. Okay, so there you go, right?
Yeah.
It's a good spot to do it. It would just, it needs a few people and a bit of a committee or whatever to do it. You'd have to raise a few $100. You'd have to get an area map and have somebody like map it
Chart it
and,
out.
and draw it out or whatever. But if somebody wants to do it, I feel like I even said I got the first $100 when the donation thing starts rolling in. I'll donate $100 to make it happen or whatever. You got to figure out the whole style that you want to use. You got to have somebody who wants to start selling frisbee. I was like,
The biggest expense would be the nets, the chain nets.
yeah, well,
Get 9 of those.
Yeah.
Just because like everyone has a saw around here. We lots of people who can go once the holes are mapped.
do the propane tanks like Cortez and just rip their idea, right? That's what they did.
See, I didn't even know.
They do basically a propane tank, spray painted red upside down on a post.
Okay.
And when you hit it, it goes boom. Right.
No, the fancy chain.
Yeah. Well, they're about
that's
they're about $400 a pop or something. I remember looking at them. They're not cheap, but they're not out of the league. You could you start by buying one.
Yeah.
And you have that as, your kind of like featured hole or whatever too, right? Or you have like how they have it at the Sportsplex there. That's like the warm up. They have like a warm up spot.
Yeah.
It's like the putting
Yeah,
hole.
and they use that for the putting. Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's a good thing. I think, the kids who get into it, I think people would come here if you actually advertised it and you said, hey, Quadra has put out this, and you make it good. This thing has got to be good.
Yeah. Well, like it to be good, not trash. People, you don't want people saying the Quadra course is trash.
No, exactly.
Just hop to the next side.
But if people start talking and they go, hey, there's a new course that's actually really sweet, people would come and do it because
especially on their way to Cortez, if they were going to Cortez.
It's a tourist attraction. It's big. It's popular. And it's a cheap sport to play. You can go to the sports store there in town, the Inner Sport, whatever the hell it's called now, and like the discs aren't that expensive.
$10-20 you're in, right?
Yeah, $20 you get a couple discs.
They actually sell like specific weighted full discs.
Oh yeah, they all got these hilarious names too, like Annihilator and
you could get fancy.
The hammer.
I was looking on Amazon. You get the whole kit where it's like the driver, the putter, all the different range discs and everything.
Yeah, I've watched some tournaments on YouTube. And some of these guys actually have fucking caddies.
Oh yeah,
pros. They have like little bags for them that look like golf bags.
They do. They have backpacks and they got all the discs that fit in, and they're just like, I'll take my my iron or whatever there, and then
give me the wedge.
They're also playing for 20. Some of these guys playing $20,000-$25,000 for first place. Like
there's actually it's a thing that's like professional frisbee.
Yeah, there's professional frisbee golf league. Yep.
Realistically, what you do is you'd have to build the course with a tournament, and you'd have to have a tournament.
Yes.
Right, and you'd raise funds from the tournament. Even if you set up the frisbee golf day and you just did a thing for the day, and then you have the tournament to raise some money, kind of thing, and then you build it or whatever, right?
The Invitational.
The
Waterbury Open. The Catalina wine, the Quadra wine mixer.
Right. Pretty good. Woo. Yeah, boys. Well, why don't we just wrap things up here? My feet are fucking freezing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try and tune in back here again. Episode 7 will be coming up. I got a few guests lined up. I got actually a couple booked for February. Some time slots booked. So if you do want to come in and have a chat, come chat with one of us or send us a message. And spread the love, spread the links, share it up. There's that little subscribe button over here, somewhere right here, I think. You just push that, and then you can subscribe. You'll see all of our videos, and share the link, and
come visit Quadra.
Come visit Quad. Except for not too many people, like Forbes was telling, it'll turn into Niagara Falls that everybody's worried about, right? We'll be good. We'll be good. Okay,
everybody.
Peace out, you guys. Have yourselves a great day. We shall see you.
See you at number 7.
See you number 7. Have a great one.
Yeah.